Hey everyone, my name is Michael Romps. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Garrison Elementary School in Dover, New Hampshire, and I have been nominated for the 2020-21 New Hampshire Teacher of the Year. So thank you very much for this great honor. And it has come to my attention through email that you guys wanted us to make some sort of a video based, or PowerPoint or whatever it may be, based upon something that we feel we've learned through the remote learning process. And so what I thought I would do is make a kind of like a tutorial for parents going through this. So if this happens again, or if you wanted to forward this on to anybody, I think it would be beneficial for all parents to know certain things about remote teaching, remote learning, whatever it may be. Okay, so first and foremost, so this is called A Parent's Guide to Remote Instruction and Support. All right, I have a ton of notes. There's no way that I would be able to recall every single thing on this. So I figured I should have my notes with me to be planned out and productive. First and foremost, parents, you are the parent. This is going to be most difficult for you because they're your child. Whenever we would have meetings and things like that throughout the year or any year, we always understand as teachers that it's going to be easier for us to get the message through about learning, about a certain lesson or what may be. But for you as a parent, because they're most comfortable with you, because they love you the most, it's going to be maybe even 2 times as difficult to teach them. So what we're asking you to do is to do the best you can and to not have these unrealistic expectations. Do the best you can. Each day, just like anything else, you're going to get better at. It's okay to be where you are. Don't compare yourselves to other people, other kids, your family members, whoever it may be. Do the best that you can do and let your child know that they're doing great. Remember, positive reinforcement and slapping somebody on the back saying, "Great job," is going to go 10 times further than criticism and being a pessimist. All right. There are certain items to keep in mind while you help your child. So now, after I kind of already laid the groundwork for parents about not to worry about where their child is, do the best they can, it's going to be harder for you. Now I want to lay down certain things that they should be keeping in mind every day. All right? Expectations. You need to be realistic. Yes, we want to push the limit, but in the beginning especially, it's about building trust. It's about showing their child that this is where your learning is going to take place for who knows how long. So we're going to do the best we can with what we have. We're going to have some sort of a structure, and together we're going to work on that. Always choose joy over the curriculum. You know, as a student, as a teacher who was a student, of course, I struggled mightily in school, and I just never liked it. It was never a place I wanted to be. And one of the reasons I became a teacher is because I wanted to help those kids that were like me, that struggled like me, that were put into the basement for the reading program back in the 70s and the 80s, okay? Focus on work ethic, questions, and laughter. If your kids are always asking you questions, if they're always laughing and you're building a work ethic and you're teaching them time management skills, that is going to carry them much further than whether they know certain things or certain facts or sounds and things like that. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but if push comes to shove and you have to choose where your expectations lie, always choose the part that has to do with being a good human being and somebody who's going to have a good time doing this because it's only going to benefit you down the road. If we start off all of this with high expectations and they don't reach them, frustration is going to set in for you and for your child. Next, planning. Lean on the teachers and the professionals. Don't try to do this yourself. I know that all teachers are handling this differently. Some are giving you tons of worksheets. Some are giving you tons of crafts. Some are giving you a basic guideline and you have to decide. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If we're going to ask that of our children, then we must ask that of ourselves. Okay? The most important thing is to be respectful. Be respectful of what you're trying to accomplish, admit when you don't know, and then find help. And let your child see you do it. That's only going to make things stronger and teach them the right way to go about things. This is an unprecedented time. There's no one way to do anything. Just because your neighbor is teaching their child this way doesn't mean that you have to. I personally believe the more ways that we can expose kids to learning, the better. So if it was like, for instance, addition, maybe I'd do it with circles. Maybe I'd do it with manipulatives. Maybe I'd do it mentally. Maybe I'd use my doubles or my complements of 10. Or maybe I would count up, okay? So I'm introducing them to many different ways. Now, you might not have all those in your arsenal. That's fine. That's why we reach out and we ask for help. And then their kids will figure out which way works best for them. And it will happen, I promise. Some just take a little bit longer than others, and that's okay. Be passionate, be excited, build engagement. I think you can probably tell that I'm a pretty enthusiastic person, okay? And I've been doing this for about 20 years now, so I feel confident in what I'm doing. But a lot of times in the beginning of my teaching career, I just brought a lot of energy and passion, and I was not afraid to say I didn't know, and I continued to ask and learn, get help. Have fun, dance, sing, arts, crafts, whatever it may be. There's lots of different ways to implement the curriculum where you can do sounds but also do Play-Doh. You can do numbers but also go for a walk and count the trees. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can incorporate writing and reading and math and science and social studies. Find those ways. And again, lean on your teachers. A great way to build excitement and things and learning are board games. People play the video games now. I know they're a lot of fun and they're so realistic. But back when I was young, we would just play the board games, playing checkers and chess and life and chutes and ladders and all these different things. And what happens when you do all those things in Monopoly and different things? You're learning different skills. You're learning to compromise. You're learning to work together. And you're also learning some numbers and reading and all those different things. Empathy, probably the most important thing. We have to understand where we are right now. Unprecedented times. Nobody's ever gone through this before. So it would be unrealistic of us to ask our kids to be able to roll with the punches. So what I'm asking you guys to do is to understand that it's a tough time for everyone and express that to them. The more you show empathy for them, the more the kids are going to learn empathy. Next, differentiation. Whew, this is a tough one as a teacher. Everybody's at a different level. Okay, so what you're doing for your child is what they need. Now, the plus of this is it's a one-on-one setting, so you're going to be able to maybe get right to it right away. And you're not going to have to work through all different types of levels of learning because you don't have a classroom of 20. So what I'd like you to do is reach out in private Zooms and to your specialists and to special ed if there's any kids that you have that have a learning disability, and ask for help again. Okay? Differentiate. Don't worry about where somebody else is. Worry about where you are with your teaching and where your child is. Screen time. I wouldn't take it all away. Again, crazy time, right? If a lot of kids use their phone and their video games to communicate with each other. So as long as they're getting the job done, it's okay to have the downtime. All right, it's okay to get on the phone and FaceTime. It's okay to do a TikTok. Hey, at least they're exercising, right? So don't worry so much about screen time, but if it's getting to be over 2 hours or 3 hours, then we have to put some stipulations and some guidelines in. Hey, let's try to do this more. What I like to do is I like to say, let's get all of our things done, and then we can move on to the other things that you want to do. But it's all about compromise. Let them have a voice in their learning, and they will grow more than you ever could imagine. Family needs. It's a balance, right? You might not just have one kid. You might have 5 kids and 3 dogs and 2 chickens. Who knows? All right? So no one wins in the moments where you get frustrated. All right? There's no way we're going to go through this entire time where we're not going to be a little bit on edge and our kids aren't going to be sad and all those different things. But you have an opportunity to show them how to deal with adversity. You have an opportunity to show them how to breathe and meditate and walk away from situations when things aren't going well. And then we'll revisit it. And if anyone makes a mistake, you know what you do? You just say you're sorry and you move on. Okay, what's that called? It's called growing up. It's called being an adult. It's adults make mistakes just like kids make mistakes. Okay, but if every day we learned a little bit, imagine how much we would learn in a whole school year or a whole 12 years of school. Remember, love and kindness will always trump over continents and oceans and curriculum. Always lean towards the mental health side of it. Always lean towards the excitement and the passion. Don't get caught up in the day-to-day grind. There are going to be some days you might just want to leave it and come back to it the next day and live to fight another day. Be proactive. This isn't easy to do, especially if you haven't been a teacher before, but you guys are parents. You guys have been doing this. It's instinctual within you. All right? Be clear on what your expectations are. Make sure that they know. And then you'll be able to do different things in terms of staying one step ahead. A lot of times I'll be able to foresee certain things I'll know in a lesson. So if you're starting to teach a lesson and you can't understand it, then odds are your child's not going to understand it. So be proactive and say to them, this might be a little bit difficult, but together we're going to get through it. Materials. I always say this, if you give me a book, a slate, and a marker, I can dominate the world in regards to education. Yes, it'd be great to have all those different things and all the gadgets and of course a laptop and all these different things that we can make learning more exciting. But sometimes it just comes down to the X's and O's. All right? So writing their name. I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I'm going to have a different frame of mind than other people. Literacy, math, all those different assignments. Whether it be writing, whether it be story elements, whether it be sequencing, whether it be measuring or estimating, whatever it is, a slate, a marker, a book to read every day, and you can accomplish things. So try to have that positive mindset and not say, well, I don't have this and this. Okay, but you do have some things. And most importantly, you have the love of your child in your heart and you know what's best for them. Focus on small increments. If a teacher sends you all these different things at the end of the night or the beginning of the day, don't feel like you have to do all of them. You know your child. You know what's right. Pick and choose what you do. Take advantage of the times where they're on fire and they're learning, right? So maybe go for 2 or 3 hours that day. Now, it could be over 20-minute increments. So whether it's reading, writing, arts, crafts, movement, health, meditation, breathing, whatever it may be, 20-minute increments. You'll be surprised. If you get a kid reading for 20 minutes, then the next thing they know, they've lost track of time and it's 40 minutes or an hour. All right? Find your moments throughout the day. And on days where it's just not clicking, walk away from it and say, hey, how about we take a break today and tomorrow we'll come back at it even stronger, but we got to do it. All right? It's okay to treat them the way they deserve to be treated because that's how we are as adults, right? We don't just wake up every morning and dominate the day. Some days we do, and some days we just need to take it a little bit slower at our pace and understand that we're going to get where we have to go over time. Don't let them stop socializing, whether it's through Facebook Lives or Zooms or emails or phone calls, whatever it is, no isolation. All right, that's when it really starts to set in. And I know some of us are introverts and some of us don't feel comfortable in crowds, and that's fine. That's who you are. Okay, but we have to continue to put ourselves out there and have conversations with others to keep our mind fresh and to be excited about things and to look forward to things. Last page. Teaching is going to be messy at times. What works one day might not work another. That's all. All anyone can ask of you is for you to do your best. Okay? Your children love you, but unfortunately, you're all on top of each other, and it's been 2 months now. All right? Take your time. Do the best you can. I'd just like to read you one thing. These are my final words. Hopefully this video hasn't been too long. At the end of the year, if your child thinks of learning as fun, exciting, and necessary, then mission accomplished. Choose their mental health over covering all of the curriculum. We are in unprecedented times. Smile and laugh with your child every day and trust that this is just a small moment of their lives. Because of your support and efforts, your child will be stronger for going through this difficult situation. I hope you guys liked my little tips for the parents for when they're struggling with remote learning. And I look forward to hearing from you all. And thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this.